Hey, it's taken me a lot of intestinal fortitude to figure out the remedial edges of the compatibility of Windows Vista and technology of a digital Canon camera that is, I don't know, a year or so old. So what I've done, I did download the software, and minus the fact that I don't have the software to directly put it on my drive, what I've done is I've done an open air recording from this camera, from my 2003 Toshiba flat screen TV, which was not really flat screen anymore, but it's flat, it's rounded actually. The pixels are huge compared to what you got these days, and there's rolling on it. But here is Jordan Page performing November 22nd, 2008, and the Fed rally. Finally figured out how to do, and I hope you like this. Alright, there's also Adam Kokesh speaks a bit too. Alright, Jordan.
Cause they all act alike. Oh, they teach you to fear and surrender what's left of your youth. And the wealth that you give them is spent on the purchase of truth. So hey, Bob Dylan, I wrote you a song, 'cause I know that the answers we're searching for will be here for long. Well, you taught us that war is a sin and a shame and a shame, and the penance we pay for our silence is more than just taking the blame. So where are my Christians, and why don't they answer the call? We believe in the scriptures, but don't seem to use them at all. Well, you can't go and bomb the whole world in God's holy name. If Jesus were here, you'd collapse from the weight of the shame. So hey, Bob Dylan, we need you to pay, 'cause the freedom we fight and we die for is sailing away. And there's too many voices of wrong drowning out what is right. Come sing with me now, and together we'll take up the fight. Come sing with me now, and together we'll take up the fight. Thank you guys very much. Adam Kokesh.
Hey, one more time for Jordan Page for playing out here with his cold fingers. We're gonna give him a second to warm up. Thanks everybody for coming, for braving the cold. This is such a new, exciting issue for so many people. Most Americans have no idea what the Fed is, or how it works, or the disastrous effects that it has on our country by creating money out of thin air and imposing on America's poor and working class the most regressive, destructive tax there is, the inflation tax. Is the echo still on? Where do I kill that, Jordan?
Reverb.
I don't know, it sounds kind of cool with the echo.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah? Alright. We have today before us the task of ending this criminal, unconstitutional institution that really is the root of so much evil in this country. And we're still in the early phases of this movement of raising awareness and inspiring people. But as the Chinese proverb goes, may you be blessed to live in interesting times. And in these interesting times where we're in 2 wars, amidst a disastrous policy of American imperialism, the economic turmoil that we're experiencing, we are definitely living in interesting times. And people are starting to wake up. People are starting to make the connections. People are starting to realize that really the Federal Reserve System is at the heart of all of this. And they're starting to connect it to issues that affect their daily lives and things they really care about. Because normally you start talking about economic policy and people's eyes glaze over. Money supply, fiat money, debt-based currency, blank stares, right? But what do we have as a result of the Federal Reserve now that people are starting to see? Endless war, inflation tax, and now corporate bailouts that are unprecedented. Buying of toxic assets. All of these things that people should be outraged about, finally they're connecting to the Federal Reserve. And what we're doing here is starting to build a really broad coalition around this issue. And we saw this around the bailouts. Everybody from the far left to the far right, if you even believe in that false dichotomy that's been imposed on the American political system. But average Americans came out and were outraged. And Congress was flooded with phone calls. 99-1 against the bailouts. And yet still, most of those people haven't yet made the connection that the creation of money out of thin air, that our debt-based currency, that our monetary policy, and all of the banking institutions and corporations that Thomas Jefferson predicted would spring up around them are really the heart of this issue. Now, this is a Federal Reserve note, $1 bill. And when the Federal Reserve was sold to the American people in 1913, it was promised that it would create economic stability and preserve and stabilize the value of the dollar. And yet, since its inception, we have seen this dollar and its purchasing power decline by over 96%. This dollar is worth what 4 cents would have bought in 1913. But it's even worse now, because this is a debt-based currency, previously backed as constitutionally decreed by real property, by silver or gold, and now the only thing that gives this dollar any value is debt. It is absolutely worthless. This is my rejection of the Federal Reserve System. For the record, what I just did is a felony, because the government wants you to think that they own not just your property and have a right to tax your labor, but the very dollar bills that are in your pocket. But the reality is, I just saved our government $1. There's one less dollar of debt for our government.
Make it happen. Thanks very much to all of my subscribers and everybody.